Dear all, Autism Learning Materials Supermarket is an autism community project implemented by NBAI, AI for Autism, Job4autism, and Mr. Duong Lam to provide authentic and updated 24/7 documents thanks to artificial intelligence for parents with children with autism and related disorders, specialized teachers, inclusive teachers, and therapists. Today, we would like to introduce video number 0.90, The Path to Progress, Autism Intervention.
When you first get an autism spectrum disorder diagnosis for your child, it can feel, well, completely overwhelming. You're suddenly flooded with questions, and it's hard to know where to even start. So in this explainer, we're going to turn that feeling of uncertainty into a sense of clarity, of empowerment, and, most importantly, of hope. Let's dive in.
We've laid out a roadmap here with 5 key stops on our journey. First, we'll really dig into what the spectrum means. Then, we'll cover the first steps to take right after a diagnosis. After that, we'll talk about building your support team, explore some powerful therapies, and wrap up with the most critical role of all, yours.
All right, take a look at this number. Just 1 in 36.
So what's that all about? Well, according to the very latest data from the CDC, 1 out of every 36 8-year-olds has been identified with autism spectrum disorder, or ASD. Now, that's not just a statistic. It's a number that shows us just how many families this touches and, how much our awareness of ASD is really growing.
And that growing awareness has to start with real understanding. So for our first section, let's explore the spectrum itself, because before you can navigate a path, you really have to understand the landscape. This is where the journey begins.
So, what is autism spectrum disorder exactly? Well, at its heart, it's a developmental condition. But the single most important word on this slide is spectrum. This is key. It means ASD isn't one thing. It's not a single box. The challenges, the strengths, they can be incredibly different from one person to the next, which makes every single journey totally unique.
To get a better hand on the spectrum, let's look at some of the core characteristics. This could mean difficulties with that natural back and forth in a conversation, or maybe challenges with things we do without thinking, like reading facial expressions, making eye contact, or using gestures. You might also see repetitive behaviors, like saying the same phrase over and over, or an interest in something that's just incredibly intense and specific. And another big one is an unusual reaction to sensory stuff, like certain sounds being too loud, or lights being too bright, or even the feeling of a tag on a shirt.
Okay, so once you start to get a handle on what ASD is, the next question is pretty obvious, right? So, what do we do now? And that brings us right to our second section, taking those first steps and getting the map you need for the path ahead.
Now, before we get into the process, I really want to anchor us with this idea. All children can learn. This isn't just some feel-good platitude. It is the absolute foundation of effective intervention. It's a powerful reminder that the goal isn't to change the essence of who a child is. The goal is to find the unique way they learn best.
Now, the whole diagnostic process can sound kind of intimidating, but let's break it down. It's really a logical 3-step journey. It all starts with the experts gathering a really detailed history from you, the parents, and just carefully observing your child. From there, they use standardized tools. You might hear acronyms thrown around like CARS or ADOS. These are basically just structured ways to get a clear picture of a child's skills. And all of that, the history, the observation, the assessments, it all flows into the most important part, a truly personalized intervention plan designed specifically for your child.
And here's the thing about that plan. You're not meant to carry it out all by yourself, which leads us perfectly into section 3, building your team. Think of this journey less like a solo hike and more like a team expedition. You need a crew. So, who's on this crew? Well, as you can see here, it's a whole team of specialists. You'll notice speech therapists often make up a big part of the team, which makes perfect sense, right? But they're working alongside doctors, occupational therapists who help with daily living skills, and physical therapists. It's a holistic approach designed to support the whole child from every angle.
But does this team approach actually make a difference? Oh yeah. The data here is pretty incredible. Look at this.
When professionals use this kind of team model, a huge 75% of them reported seeing many positive changes in the children they worked with. And then you add another 22% who saw some small changes. I mean, that's 97% of them seeing real progress. Teamwork is absolutely the key.
All right, so we've got the team assembled. Now, what's in their toolkit? That brings us to Section 4, the power of therapy. These are the proven, science-backed tools that help pave that path to progress.
One of the biggest tools in that kit, and one you've probably heard of, is Applied Behavior Analysis, or ABA. Now, don't think of it as just one therapy. It's more like a whole scientific framework. It uses the basic principles of how all of us learn to systematically build useful skills, like communication, and to help reduce behaviors that might be getting in the way of learning. And the process itself is really clear and logical. First, the therapist does an assessment to see where the child's skills are right now. That's the baseline. Then, working with you, they set very specific, measurable goals. And then comes the real work. They take a big skill, break it down into tiny teachable steps, and then build it up piece by piece with lots of practice and positive reinforcement. And what's so empowering about ABA is that it's not some secret language only therapists can speak. Just look at this chart. That bar on the left, that's how well a group understood ABA before some training. And the huge bar on the right, that's their knowledge after training. The leap is just massive. It proves that when parents and teachers learn these methods, they can make a real, effective difference. Another really cool tool is music therapy. But it's really important we get this distinction right. Music education is about learning a musical skill, right? Like learning to play the guitar. Music therapy is different. It uses the power and engagement of music as a tool to work on non-musical goals, things like boosting communication skills or helping a child manage their emotions. So why does music work so well, especially for kids on the spectrum? Well, for one, it's just fantastic at grabbing and holding their attention. The rhythm naturally encourages movement and coordination, and it gives them this amazing nonverbal way to communicate and connect with others. It can be a great way to release big feelings, which in turn can help reduce anxiety and make it easier to learn other things. And this isn't just a nice idea. It has a real-world impact. Let me tell you about Nguyen Tien Dat. He's a 5-year-old boy, and when he started, he had poor eye contact and some repetitive behaviors. But after just 3 months of a comprehensive plan that included these kinds of therapies, he was cooperating, making better eye contact, and even using more words. His story is just such a fantastic example of what's possible. And that incredible progress brings us to our final, and I would argue most vital piece of this whole puzzle. Section 5. Your role in the journey. Because when the therapists go home for the day, you are without a doubt the most important guide your child has. Professionals talk about this as the golden opportunity. And what that means is that your involvement is what makes all this therapy actually stick. Think about it. Every single day is packed with these moments. Mealtime, bath time, playing in the yard. These aren't just chores or routines. They are the absolute best chances you have to practice and reinforce all the skills your child is learning, turning therapy goals into real-life abilities. And as you step into that incredibly important role, I want to leave you with this really powerful thought from Jennifer McWelmy-Myers, who is an adult on the spectrum herself. She wrote, "Please don't wait until we are cured or recovered to love and accept us. That way you could miss our whole lives." Wow, that's just such a critical reminder, isn't it? The goal of this whole journey is not to fix anything. It's to love, accept, and connect with the amazing whole person your child is, right here, right now. So in the end, we come back to a question that really sums up this entire journey. It's not about trying to force a child to march to someone else's beat. It's about discovery. It's about bringing together the right team, using the right tools, and wrapping it all in your love and support, all to answer this one beautiful question. How can we help every single child find and dance to their own unique rhythm?
Autism Learning Materials Supermarket would like to thank parents, teachers, and interventionists. Please disseminate to relevant people in the autism community so that more and more people can access this authentic and scientific learning resource. To raise awareness in the community, please subscribe to watch the next videos. For any questions, please contact the email below.